Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Saggies. Ooh, Sag. Cards want to just pop. We get the World card upright. We have the Nine of Pentacles. That World is the energy of new beginnings, new starts. Nine of Pentacles is somebody who's super, super abundant. Capricorn energy here, along with other earth energy. But we have wealth. We have somebody's all dressed in white, which is a color of purity. Also, she's in like a wedding dress with a veil here. Um, Sag may have reached a point where they're like really hopeful about their love life. Maybe they are falling in love with somebody and vice versa, or they're ready to think about love again because it literally says, like, look again. And it's kind of like right over that third eye. Six of Pentacles talks about, like, wow, wait a minute, I'm seeing somebody that I wouldn't mind giving them my energy, and they seem to not mind giving me their energy. So perhaps we have something, I don't know, something kind of sweet here, something kind of like, yeah, I could picture me and this person, like getting in a vibe here. I said I'd never fall in love again. I said I was just fine single. Sag probably totally is just fine being single, super abundant, loving their life. But sometimes when we're most whole, most comfortable with just our life and what we built, that's also the time when we go, huh, yeah, I mean, if I meet somebody fabulous, I would share some of this awesomeness that is me with another person. We could have an awesome time together. Let's double the fun. I'm thinking that there could be somebody with gorgeous, dark, mysterious eyes. Got a Four of Cups in the reverse. I think this is awesome. This is Sag saying, I'm not going to miss out on a great person if one happens to pop into my life. I'm not going to turn down any form of abundance. Why would I? This is such a healed, happy, empowered Sag. And again, if they are indeed meeting somebody who, seems like they want to give to Sag as well, Sag might be like, well, that sounds terrific. There is some, maybe I'm meeting them at the right time for the right purpose. We got that Two of Pentacles. I'm wondering if Sag is going to realize that as whole as their life is right now, there is another person who walks this earth that's just as whole as Sag, who has just as much of their life together, who also is like, hey, if I meet somebody wonderful, great. If not, no worries. I got mine. I'm totally comfortable. But this is like two very complete individuals who know how to run their lives beautifully without, like pining for, like, oh, I have to find my life partner. I mean, first and foremost, like, I am my life partner. I'll be with me my whole life. And, I'm dialed in. But if another person brings other energy to the table, it's great to have, another beautiful mind to converse with. It's great to share our laughter and our highs and our lows with another person. This Three of Cups says, yeah, yeah, I like this. I would totally be open to, just interacting with somebody if they're wonderful. Why wouldn't I be? Uh, Whitney Houston, I want to dance with somebody who loves me. We got the Princess of Cups. This would be the Page of Cups. It's very much like fresh and new. So is Sag just starting this year? Have they just met someone? Or maybe will they, like right at the beginning of August? I only say that because we have like the cycle coming full circle. This is Year of the Snake. We, of course, have the serpent eating its tail here. We have the World card, which represents endings with new beginnings. Sag may have just come to this conclusion that, man, my life is so organized again, so back on track. Money's looking good. Everything, about myself feels comfortable. I've been harvesting and having a great time. And now I can kind of like notice, I can look up from all the work I've been doing. And if there's some gorgeous hottie with amazing eyes looking my way, sure, why not go and share some laughs with them, chit chat with them? I don't want to miss a chance to sit down and just have an interesting dialogue. I kind of think that there is some amazing eye contact between Sag and possibly this earth sign. Just the way these cards are, Sag is obviously caught by something and turning to look. And this person might have been similarly like captivated by Sagittarius. when you see somebody even from across a room or at an event or something, and your eyes meet and you just know this person is really seeing me. There's plenty other people their eyes could land on, but their eyes landed on me. There's a reason for that. And I don't want to miss a chance to talk to this person. Maybe we'll be great together. Maybe we'll be friends together. Maybe we'll just share a drink together. Um, or maybe it'll be the start of, who knows, a lifetime together. We don't know yet. We'll see where this story takes us. But probably we met for a reason. And I say that because we have, like a little angel floating by. This is not to oversell this and be like, oh, I noticed somebody and I'm single and abundant, and now that I've noticed a person and they're staring at me, must be mean that we're supposed to be together. I don't see it like that at all. I don't think Sag is taking it that way. I think it's more like, well, this will be fun. Let's see what happens. We have the devil. If anything, I think Sag is very much like guarded against getting obsessed and saying, oh my gosh, since we made eye contact, and this is the first person I've talked to in a while, because I definitely think Sag has been single for quite a while in this, and likewise probably so has the other person. And I kind of think both of them are like, I go real slow, because the last thing I need is to get my hopes set on somebody that I don't really know and imagine they're going to be wonderful, or start to feel like they're obsessed with me or I'm obsessed with them. That's why let's keep it Page of Cups. Let's just go light. Let's just see about having some laughs, something casual, great conversation. If that goes well, then Three of Pentacles says, then maybe we can do something else together. But we got to plant seeds and then nurture it properly. I can say this with definite conviction on this storyline for this fictional Sag. They have no intentions of giving their heart or giving somebody a full access pass into their life. We don't meet somebody that we randomly think is attractive, while waiting for the bus. And because they notice us and we notice them, we walk up and we're like, hey, here's my house key. We don't do that. So why would we give our heart to somebody so quickly? And that's what Sag is like. Yeah, I don't do that. We would have to have, all right, if we have a slightly longer conversation that goes beyond that initial awesome eye contact, and we start to chit chat and have some laughs, and it's all, light humor, great. And then if there's a little bit more affection that is growing, okay, awesome. Maybe now we can build a little bit more. Maybe I'll talk to them again in 3 days, or, for the next 3 days. And we'll maybe talk about things with a little bit more substance, dreams and goals for our life. I really think that this is going to be progressing through stages of purely a little bit of eye contact attraction, a little bit of lighthearted, fun, bubbly, making jokes, seeing if the humor vibes, seeing if they like each other. Then after a little bit of time, talking about more serious stuff, things that they think about, things that have a little bit more substance with that Three of Pentacles, to figure out, what's your work ethic, and what's your foundation like? What do you kind of, think is important in life? What kinds of things do you like to do? Prince of Pentacles, this is still okay, now let's see if what you just told me tracks. Let's go nice and slow. Let's just see if what you claim, look, I can claim lots of things, right? I genuinely would love to run a marathon in my lifetime. I have never trained for one. I am pure talk when it comes to that. My desire is truly there. Oh, that would be awesome. I have not trained for this marathon. My point is hearing somebody say, oh yeah, I want to do a marathon. Yeah, I'm really interested in that. If they don't back it up with actually putting that into action, we could imagine oh, wow, this person is super dedicated, blah, blah, blah. No, they might just be like me, where it's oh, that's a nice idea. I think that'd be really cool. I've always kind of wanted to do that, but I haven't made that a priority. Not at all. So we got to know where there's truth. It doesn't mean that somebody's lying. It just means you've got to know what their actual priorities of where they're putting their energy. I don't have time to train for a marathon right now. It'd be cool if I could. I literally cannot do it right now. And everybody says, well, if you really want to, you'll make it a priority. No, sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes what we want and what we have to take care of, two vastly different things. You got to do what you're capable of doing at any point in time. That's just how it goes. So when an opportunity arises, maybe then, but do you make opportunities? Sure, but not everything in life can be arranged for your every whim. So, you do what you can when you can, how you can. But this says talking to somebody and getting to know what they want and what they're actually actively putting their energy toward, so that you really can see, like, what is their life made up of. That takes time. It's easy to talk, it's harder to apply. And I'm just using myself as a humorous example of, yes, I want, but I'm not doing it right now. So that, we could give the wrong impression unless, we're honest enough to be like, well, here's what I care about. Here's what I do. I don't do any of those things, but it matters to me. And someday I'd like to invest in that. There's like, are we having dialogue with somebody where we're able to say it that plainly? And I kind of think that with Sag talking to this person, Sag knows, just have the dialogue, get to know what somebody cares about, get to know what they think about, but then also what's their real life made up of. And that takes time to see it. Again, we have the Princess of Swords, which is I'm kind of like observing, I'm getting to know somebody, I'm gathering like the reality of, like how they operate. All of this is a nice blend of, let me invest carefully, slowly, let me get to know this person, and then let me see what their life is made up of. It's great to get to know what somebody cares about, but then also the parameters of, what they're really able to put their energy into in life. We've got a Two of Cups in the reverse. Again, staving off the idea that, oh my God, they're my perfect person, they're my one and only. I'm not looking and evaluating for, are they perfect? Are they my Two of Cups? Are they my magical, everlasting love? Because I think Sag is like, I don't want to go down that road of trying to give somebody that title. I just want to openly get to know them. I just want to openly, non-judgmentally get to know them. We have got the world in the reverse. And I think this is Sag saying, there's not like an ending here. But there's also not an official title I'm giving them. I'm going to keep seeing where this goes. There's not a moment where Sag's light goes on and they go, oh, I love this person, they're my forever person. Sag is like, I don't operate that way. I operate on a, slow evolutionary, like, am I hoping for the best? Yes. But I don't try to leap ahead and make it a fantasy relationship where they have to be my everything. I have to be able to say, I knew from the first moment I saw you that you were my person. Sag does not overly romanticize anything. And it also doesn't mean that they're against romance, but we see a very practical approach here that is supposed to be fun and not a job. It's just like Sag is being logical and having a nice time and making sure that they don't get stressed out. So they're just taking it one step at a time and not trying to apply the label of, they're my Two of Cups. Sag is like, look, that'd be great. What I would love to have happen is if I manifested meeting a very wonderful person and we're vibing, I would like more of this. Thank you very much. This is feeling good. But I'm not going to lie to myself and try to force a title on something. Seven of Wands. The only thing here with the Seven of Wands is this can be like, in trying to be super chill and super fair about everything, the exact opposite could be a little bit also something to think about. Is Sag like saying, I won't let myself consider this person as like an amazing match? And is Sag at all in danger of saying, I won't let my heart like fall for them? Because this says there's some blockages, and we do see one person like practicing their fencing skills, but it's just against themselves. So, I mean, I think it's so great to be chill, to be comfortable. But with this 10 of Pentacles, if Sag is like, well, until I've been with this person for 10 years, I'm not going to say that I can, admit that I'm in love with them. Look, if this person is being super amazing, it totally makes sense that Sag is like, yeah, I want to see if it can go the distance. I would love it to go the distance. But, there is a fine line between keeping it casual, comfortable, non-stressy, but also then the flip side of that, the other side of the coin would be, but pushing away any like real, emotional bond that's forming. And I don't know, somewhere in between the two is where we have like that wonderful sense of stability. How do they feel about Sag? Two of Swords sideways. They might be a little bit confused by Sag. Sometimes I don't know if Sag is vibing with me so much or not. I'm not 100% sure, but they themselves could actually also be King of Swords sideways. They may be in the exact same boat as Sag. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give labels. I want to not assume anything. I want to be honest. I want to let Sag get to know me in a natural way. I'm not trying to grill or be grilled. I'm not sure, like, what does Sag want to know? I'm an open book on one hand, but okay, so these two characters, in trying to keep things like non-confrontational, non-intense, it's kind of funny because it's almost like they do need a mediator to be like, it seems like you two are pretty nuts about each other. Like, they might be keeping things almost too much in the friend zone as time goes on, and there may be a friend or somebody in the mix who's like, so what are you doing with that, whatever that King of Swords, Sag? Are you, because I can tell they're super into you. And Sag might be like, I don't know, I haven't, it's not like they've said how into me they are. Well, have you said it to them? Well, no. I almost feel like there's going to be a friend or somebody who's going to ask, hey, what are you two doing? You seem like you're together. Are you together? It's kind of it is kind of cute that these two are trying so hard to keep it, let's just let it go. Let's just let it unfurl. Let's just not make this too intense. And yet, this is slow moving, but there's always forward motion. But at some point, they're going to have to take the leap. Sag and this person will probably have to take the leap with that Fool card, that Chariot. Who's going to take the leap? Yeah, Page of Pentacles sideways. I think that these two may dance around the topic of love. I think that these two might have even an unexpected way at some point to kind of tell each other. And it could be like the anti I love you. It could be like, well, I really, really, really don't dislike being around you. They may not say I love you. Maybe like I really, really, really don't find our time together to be unpleasant. They could say it in kind of funny, low-key ways. You notice how we have not had like lovey-dovey bovey, cards here. We keep having like this chill, but I think that they're way more attracted to each other and trying to downplay it throughout this whole story. Hey, whatever floats their boats, who are we to judge? But in this storyline, it just looks like we've got two characters that might need the interference of a friend to be like, hey, so I can tell they're nuts about you, and I think you're nuts about them. Have y'all talked about this yet? Making it more official. It's kind of sweet. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.